do recommend Meetup to a lot of my friends that are looking for different things. Wine tasting, movies, book club, meet a lot of new people, a lot of new friends, and it will make you more social.
What is a chess dynasty? Unceasing dominance, move after move, again and again and again.
We have a resignation, we have history.
He is the 5-time FIDE World Chess Champion.
But a chess dynasty can also be cruel. It forces most to defer their dreams until next time. If there is a next time.
It's losing.
Oh my God, did he just blow?
Yeah, he did.
I'm blown away. The game is over.
As the chess world turns to Kazakhstan, the Magnus Carlsen dynasty is set to close. The FIDE World Championship is finally up for grabs. For two chess superstars lying in wait, until next time is now. Jan Nepomniachtchi has methodically done what he needed to do to get another shot at the title. The pressure to seize the moment this time rests heavily upon him.
Jan Nepomniachtchi saves the game with the black pieces, which means that he is one game closer to the World Championship title.
Ding Liren knows firsthand what the end of this dynasty means. An unexpected chance to make history. Can China's best turn his good fortune into eternal fame?
The rook pawn is going to be a draw, and Ding there with a smile gives it up. He knows there's no trying in this one. A hard-fought battle.
The legacy of this championship spans across centuries. It reads from the names of chess giants. For the first time in a decade, a new name will raise the trophy and be etched into chess history. It's the 2023 FIDE World Championship. Whose name will next be called champion?
Chess fever is on in Astana as the city hosts the ultimate battle to crown the king of classical chess. It's been a long journey for the two challengers to the halls of the St. Regis Hotel. And we are live inside the playing arena as we wait for Jan Nepomniachtchi and Ding Liren to arrive. It's now the final stretch of the FIDE World Championship match. Welcome everyone, I'm International Master Tanya Sachdev. Alongside me, my co-commentators, Grandmaster Robert Hess and Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana. 4 games remain. Jan Nepomniachtchi leads with 1 point. Ding Liren has to strike back to equalize. Right off the bat, Fabi, what's the one thing you're expecting from Ding today?
I don't know if it's so much expecting, but I think that he is in a position now when we're getting close to the end of the match when maybe it's time to take some extra risks. And we've seen these players both take risks during this match. But in the last few games, they've played rather quietly, steadily. But Ding is still down a point, and he doesn't want to let it get to that, final few games when he's in a must-win situation. I think he should try to take the chance now to get some chances.
As we get closer to the finish line in a 14-game match, each match becomes that much heavier. The pressure increases. The margin for error at this point for Ding Liren is 0. He needs to win a game. Jan Nepomniachtchi looking good. With every passing game, he gets closer to becoming world champion. Robert, what will be Jan's approach today?
Well, you say the margin for error for Ding Liren is nearly 0. The number of errors yesterday was pretty much 0. And for Jan Nepomniachtchi, I think it's going to be more of the same. Why should he take any risk? Why does he need to do anything different? He should play his solid, steady approach. Another draw will not be a bad result for him, especially because there's a rest day tomorrow, and then he can prepare to have the black pieces in the 12th round.
A draw in this match would mean that Jan just goes steps closer to that World Championship title, while for Ding it would mean 1 game less to strike back. So much at stake. The start of the World Championship match, this first half, was a fist fight with 5 decisive games starting from game 2. And then we saw 4 back-to-back victories with the white pieces. But going into the second half, we see the players treading more cautiously. They are taking less risks and playing with incredibly high accuracy. As we saw, starting from game 8, it was a draw, 3 back-to-back draws. In game 10, once again, with the white pieces, we saw Ding Liren push, exert pressure, but Jan had a principled approach to defense. And though Ding tried, Fabi, it was never close to being enough.
Yeah, yesterday we saw a nearly perfect, one could even say perfect game of chess. But at the moment, Ding doesn't want perfect games of chess. He wants a mess, he wants some blood. As Tal said, you want to take your opponent into a deep, dark forest. And that's what Ding needs at the moment. He really needs to get back into the equality of the match. And then, we'll see in the final few games. But I think it would be very difficult for him if we're going to the final game of the match and he needs to win. White pieces or not, you don't have amazing chances of winning a single game against a player as strong and as well prepared as Jan Nepomniachtchi. So every game is a chance. I think he should be trying to create complications and a way for his opponent to make mistakes.
Yeah, I think for Ding, he needs to make the most of his chances, but he's just not going to get them. I'm sorry to say it. I know chat's going to hate me, but I expect a D word. A draw today. I think that's what is likely because Jan Nepomniachtchi, he wants to coast through to the finish line. He sees it. It's within his sight. So why should he take any risk? He has the white pieces. If he can liquidate, if he can make a draw, I think he's going to do that.
Big questions. How much will Jan push with white? Ding Liren, will he be under pressure one more time with the black pieces? And will he be able to hold fort? It was a confident hold in game 10 by Jan Nepomniachtchi. And this is what Ding had to say about the outcome of the game.
Today I drew another white game. So it means there are only 4 games left. I need to at least score 1 win to level the score. It's become quite normal, like there are 3 draws in the 3 rounds. But okay, the tournament is still not finished yet. So okay, we still have 4 games left. I wouldn't say how much confidence am I now. I didn't consider that.
Four games left, 2 with the white pieces for Ding Liren. Confidence will be a big factor in this one. And as we can see, our Chesscom stats team has given these odds based on the outcome, the result of today's Game 11. It's going to be a big, exciting day of chess. If Jan Nepomniachtchi with the white pieces wins, essentially, it won't just be game over, it will be match over. It's nearly impossible. Ding Liren will need the biggest of miracles to come back from a 2-point deficit. A 98% favorite for Jan there, with a draw still more than an 80% favorite. And if Ding strikes back with the black pieces, our stats team actually inches more towards Ding with a 47% to Jan Nepomniachtchi. Looking at these stats, Robert, is it fair to say that for Ding, it's more important to keep things under control, to not take extra risk, than to try for a win today with black.
Yeah, for Ding Liren, he gets 2 whites in the remaining 3 games after today. We've seen him create chances with the white pieces, not yesterday, but in game 8. That result may have been a draw, but he was winning. So as you said, confidence will be important for him. I think he should confidently try to neutralize the opening advantage today, and then he could take it from there.
Easier said than done, Robert, with Jan Nepomniachtchi starting with the white pieces. It is all going to come down to what is Jan's approach today. Will he be the one who'll try to close off the match today, maximize his chances, try to create chaos on the board? But the drawback of that strategy would be that Ding perhaps could get his moments in the game and strike back. Well, it's been a fascinating World Championship with so many decisive games. With the black pieces, we've seen only 1 win so far, and it was back in game 2 with Jan Nepomniachtchi drawing first blood in the match with a fantastic win with black. Apart from that, we've often seen in the match the player playing black has struggled to neutralize out of the opening. Now, Jan hasn't lost a single game in this match with black. Ding, meanwhile, not just in this match, with the black pieces, Ding has not yet defeated Jan Nepomniachtchi in this World Championship match, as well as any of the classical games that they've played against each other. Robert, is that going to have a psychological effect on Ding going into today's game?
Yeah, Ding has not beaten Jan Nepomniachtchi with the black pieces. I don't think he is going to be aiming for that today. If an opportunity arises, he will try to make the most of it. But you can see Jan Nepomniachtchi there. Same salmon-colored shirt, same strong mental fortitude, same fantastic chess player as we've seen throughout this World Championship. So for Ding, he knows his opponent at this point, and he knows that he can't just drum up a win out of nowhere. He would have to take some serious risk, and I just don't think Ding needs to do that at this late stage. He still has 2 white games remaining. I don't think now is the time to let things go crazy.
Just 4 games remaining to getting our 17th chess world champion. Fabi, are you surprised to see Jan return with a pink shirt, or not as much?
Well, I'm not his stylist, but if I were, I would tell him, maybe to try out a different color. They say variety is a spice of life. So let's see some different colors for these last few games. But I think that these last few games will be very interesting. As you said, Jan has never lost to Ding with the white pieces, and that's very relevant. But I still think that Ding should try to take his chances. Just because things haven't happened in the past doesn't mean that they can't happen today or potentially in the remaining black game that Ding will have. And I want to push back a little bit on what Robert said, because even though we have seen Ding create a lot of chances with the white pieces, I feel like it is possible he has exhausted his repertoire of ideas with white. And that might be why we saw the last game he wasn't fully perfectly prepared for this bishop c5 move that Jan came out with. And I feel like he's trying to probe a little bit in various directions, trying to find some sort of weaknesses in Jan's opening repertoire, but he might have already used his main ideas in the earlier stages in this match.
Yeah. Very interesting, because even at the press conference, Ding actually confessed to being out of his preparation by move 9 with that move bishop c5 that you mentioned by Jan. We've seen Ding come up with these very combative, energetic opening surprises. But then with a 1 slight deviation by Jan, which perhaps is not the top move, it feels as if Ding tends to go into a think and finds himself out of his familiar preparation. Robert, has that surprised you a little bit? The fact that Ding is the one who is playing these amazing variations and these different openings, but very quickly is also the one who goes into a think tank.
Well, to push back against Fabiano's pushback here, we're good friends. We can argue sometimes. I think that Ding said it himself, that he was interested in risk minimization, because at a critical moment when he took that pawn on d6 yesterday and traded queens, he could have dropped his bishop back. That's actually what Fabiano was recommending. That would have provided him more winning chances. He seemed a bit nervous. He just wanted to get down to that end game where he couldn't possibly lose. Nothing could go wrong there. So I feel, to answer your question directly, Tanya, it has been a bit surprising. But I think that Ding Liren has shown his emotions. I think that he has been quite upfront with everybody watching that he is nervous, that things aren't going exactly his way, but he still is within the territory where he can win this match. He's only 1 point behind. And as we see the players getting seated there in Kazakhstan, I mean, Ding Liren, he knows what he needs to do today, and that is not lose.
I'm going to push back on both of you pushing back and say that definitely for a World Championship preparation, Ding's prep today has to not lack that depth. He cannot afford to burn the clock early on. Yan playing with the white pieces, Ding has to be sure that he has those critical minutes, reaching time control, reaching move 40. It is something that Yan can play on by not taking too much risk perhaps in the opening stages, but making sure that he poses the big question when the clock runs low. We see both players seated. I'm expecting the jackets to come off, meticulously be placed on the chairs. First moves are about to happen. And of course, that begs the question to be asked. 1e4 by Yan, is that a mutual vote?
I'm going to go with yes. I think e4. I don't think it's time to experiment for Yan because as you guys both pointed out, he's in the lead and there's no reason to take unnecessary risk. You're in the lead. Of course, you're playing with the white pieces. And I think Yan will still have some ambition, of course, in this game. But he's not going to want to put himself in a position where he's potentially losing the game. That would be a complete disaster and put Ding not only back in the match, but arguably as a favorite, especially, in the psychological sense, because winning with the black pieces in such a crucial game, that would be so huge psychologically and in the match score. So I think e4, and you know what I hope to see? I don't know if I expect it, but I hope to see a Sicilian Najdorf.
You actually said that yesterday, Fabi, and Robert, you were quite amused with that prediction at the close of the show after game 10. And I have to ask you, what are the chances of us actually seeing a Najdorf today, Robert?
This is one where I trust Fabi, and I think that it would be excellent to see a Najdorf. And I just want to say I agree completely with what Fabi's been saying. And I'm looking at this game, I'm looking at the opening stage. Yan has had advantages with the white pieces. Let's not forget that 2 games ago in game 9, Yan actually had an advantage, and he was disappointed with that draw. So he is an ambitious player. If the situation occurs where he can play for an edge, he will do just that, but he wants to minimize his own risk. The players, I mean, they're seated, they're ready. I think that Ding Liren, he's looking at this board intently, and I think we should all intently wait for his first move, because if it's c5, it's a Sicilian. Fabi, you're going to be a proud commentator and colleague of Ding Liren.
Oh, I will be super proud. But, I don't know what I would do if I was in his position. It's easy to say, play the Sicilian, go all out, try to take advantage of perhaps Jan's uncertainty in terms of, should I play for a win? Should I play it solidly? That is a sort of vulnerable psychological state where you can try to, and here we see the first move, e4, played. Not a surprise, but will Jan, because he's not obligated to play that first move, he's taking it back. Will he play it, or will he choose something else?
I think it's just taken back to make it himself. And we see that Ding get up, take off the jacket. He's going to sit right back, and we're going to have handshakes at the start of the game. Wow, 1e4 is what we're expecting. It's going to be a big shocker if Yan actually decides to play something else, simply because he's been getting such great positions out of the opening. Ding's the one who's been challenged to neutralize White's advantage. And as the match etches towards that finish line, it becomes that much more difficult. Psychologically, the pressure increases to get out of the opening without too much trouble. Ding so far hasn't been that successful in this one. Guys, 1 e6, the French, I don't believe that's going to happen. The clocks have started. 1 e4, that call was an easy one to make. But with Ding Liren, what will he start with? Will he reach out for c5? No, he goes with e5, the king pawn opening. Fabi, you look disappointed.
A little bit. Okay, are we going to see a Berlin again? Yeah, I feel like it's going in that direction because it was a very successful opening for Ding in the last game where he played with the black pieces. Going back to the anti-Marshall, he's hesitating here a bit, but I think he'll probably go for the Berlin.
I don't think so, Fabi. I think the fact that he's thinking right now, I'm going to say it's not going to be a Berlin. And we have a move. It's the Spanish.
You called it. It will be probably an anti-Marshall, unless will Ding go for an Archangelisk? B5, Bishop C5? I mean, he's shown that he's surprising him in every game. He's playing a different opening every game, but he reverts to his usual repertoire, the martial.
Robert, at this stage, I would love to see a martial happen. Do you think Yan will allow that, or will he go for an anti-martial?
I think he'll go for an anti-martial. I mean, there's no reason why he should go into the treacherous territory that is the martial used in so many world championships past. And I think that for Yan, he's just trying to think, what does Ding Liren want from me? And there it is. He plays D3. We're starting with these closed variations. It's going to be a slower build-up. And I think a good choice by both of these players, because for Ding, he plays his normal